Welcome to Forbidden Texts. What you are about to see may shock you. It may surprise you, but will definitely challenge everything you thought you knew. Stick around until the end to discover the forbidden knowledge that they don't want you to have.
If you felt like your life has been falling apart ever since your spiritual awakening, here's the truth it's supposed to. Everything you thought was real, gone. The relationships you trusted, shattered. Your sense of identity, dissolving like smoke. It's not a coincidence. It's not random. It's a test. Welcome to Forbidden Text, where we uncover hidden knowledge and forbidden wisdom. Most people think spiritual awakening is all peace, love, and enlightenment. But those who have truly walked this path know the truth. It's brutal. It's isolating. It will break you before it builds you. And the worst part, no one tells you about the hidden tests waiting in the shadows. You might think you're going crazy. You might wonder if you're cursed. But what if this was all part of the process? What if these obstacles were designed specifically for you to see if you're ready for the next level? Something most spiritual teachers are too afraid to say. And once you hear it, you'll never look at your journey the same way again. They call it the dark night of the soul, but that name doesn't do it justice. It's not just a night. It's an abyss. A full-scale collapse of everything you thought you were. And here's the part no one talks about. Most people don't survive it. Not physically, but spiritually. They get stuck, lost in the emptiness, drowning in their own mind. Some turn back, pretending they never started this path. Others spiral, forever chasing something they can't name. Because this isn't just depression. It's the systematic destruction of the old you. And it's terrifying. One day, you're full of hope, connected to something greater. Then suddenly nothing. The universe goes silent. Your passions die. Everything that once made sense now feels meaningless. Your friends don't understand. Society tells you to snap out of it. But how can you explain to someone that your entire reality is crumbling? But that's the trap. This isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. The old self has to die so the real you can emerge. But that won't happen if you keep trying to resurrect the past. The key: surrender. Not in a weak, defeated way, but in a way that says, fine. Burn it all down. Show me who I really am. And when you do that, something insane happens. The fear loses its power. The darkness doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. And then the rebirth begins. But before you get too comfortable, know this was only the first test. And what comes next? It's even harder. You made it through the dark night, or at least you're starting to understand it. But now comes the part that breaks most people. You're alone. Not just physically, but on a deep, soul-crushing level. The kind of alone that makes you wonder if you even exist anymore. And here's why it happens: your frequency has changed. You're not who you used to be. The people around you can feel it. Some distance themselves without even realizing why. Others lash out, trying to pull you back into the old reality. You start questioning everything. Why does awakening feel like punishment? Why does growth come with exile? And this is where most people fail. They go back. They shrink themselves down to fit in again. They numb their awareness just to feel normal. Because anything is better than this unbearable loneliness. But you're here because you sense there's another way. The truth is, this phase isn't a punishment, it's a refinement. The people falling away, they were part of an old version of you. A version that no longer exists. And if they left, it's because they couldn't evolve with you. So now you have a choice. And when you truly master this phase, something incredible happens. The right people, your real soul family, start showing up. But they won't arrive until you've proven that you don't need them to feel whole. And just when you think you're starting to get the hang of this, the next test appears. And it's the one that will completely warp your perception of spirituality itself. You thought awakening was about becoming your higher self, right? Leaving behind the ego, transcending the lower self, reaching some enlightened state where you're above all human struggles. Wrong. This is the illusion that traps most people. The spiritual ego test. And it's the most deceptive one yet because it disguises itself as progress. You start to feel like you're rising above the chaos of the world. You look around and see others still lost in materialism, still caught up in drama, still asleep. It's no longer the old, insecure ego, the one that wanted status, power, and validation. Now it's the spiritual ego hiding behind purity, wisdom, and detachment. And here's how it plays out. You judge others for being low vibe instead of realizing they're just in a different stage of their journey. The one where you believe you've made it, when in reality, you've just built a new prison. So how do you escape? You stop running from your humanness. You stop dividing life into spiritual and non-spiritual. You realize that every single thing, even the messy, painful, ridiculous parts, is part of the path. You're not here to escape the world. You're here to master it. The real test isn't about becoming more spiritual. It's about becoming more whole. And just when you finally start integrating this truth, reality delivers the next blow, one that shakes the very foundation of your beliefs. You spent years searching. Books, gurus, ancient teachings, mystical experiences. You followed every breadcrumb, hoping to find the answer. The one thing that would finally unlock it all. And then, out of nowhere, it all starts falling apart. Now they feel empty. This is the disillusionment test. And it's brutal, because up until now, your journey was fueled by seeking, searching for that one teacher, that one philosophy, that one secret that would complete you. But here's the part they don't tell you. The point of the search is to destroy the need for the search. Every teacher, every system, every belief, they were just stepping stones. They weren't the truth. They were just pointing to it. And the truth, it's not something you can read in a book. It's not something any guru can give you. It's already inside you. That's why this test happens, because at a certain point, you have to stop looking outward for wisdom and start looking within. But most people don't pass this test. Instead, they do one of two things. They cling harder, they refuse to see the flaws, refuse to question, and blindly follow the teachings even when they no longer resonate.
A quick message. This space has become something truly special for many of us. A community of people on a shared journey of spiritual growth, healing, and awakening. Your comments and stories inspire me every day, and it's clear there's so much more we can create together, especially since this path can feel lonely at times. That's why we've created a spiritual space on Patreon, a sanctuary for deeper connection, exclusive content, and meaningful conversations with others from this channel who share your journey. Together, we can build something uplifting, authentic, and spiritually powerful. If this resonates with you and you'd like to be part of something bigger, whatever you're going through, you'll find the link in the description or pinned in the comments. Your membership not only helps support the channel, but also helps grow this beautiful community. Let's create something amazing together.
Let go of the need for external validation. And then sit in the silence. Because in that silence, something incredible happens. You hear your own voice for the first time. Not the borrowed wisdom of others. Not secondhand enlightenment. your own direct connection to truth. And once you have that, you don't need anything else. But before you get too comfortable, there's one more illusion waiting to be shattered. And this one, it goes straight for the thing almost every awakened soul struggles with. You're spiritual now. So money, status, success, those things don't matter anymore. Right? That's what they want you to believe. Welcome to the material world versus spirituality dilemma, the hidden test designed to keep you weak, struggling, and dependent. It starts subtly. A little voice in your head whispers, if you were really enlightened, you wouldn't care about money. Spiritual people shouldn't chase success. Materialism is a distraction from the real path. So you downplay your ambitions. You reject wealth. You convince yourself that suffering is somehow noble. That struggle makes you pure. Congratulations. You just fell into one of the biggest traps in history. Because the idea that spirituality and material success can't coexist. Not the people with wisdom. Not the people who want to heal, uplift, or awaken others. No. It stays in the hands of those who know how to use power but lack the consciousness to use it responsibly. Not hiding from it. Money isn't evil. Power isn't corrupt. It's just energy. And energy flows where it's allowed. So the real question is, why are you rejecting it? Is it because you genuinely don't need it? Or is it because some part of you is still afraid of what you could become if you had it? The ones who pass this test don't run from the material world. That's when you realize the biggest spiritual test isn't about rejecting the world. It's about learning to thrive in it without losing yourself. But before you can step into that mastery, there's one final challenge. And this one, it will shake everything you thought you knew about spirituality itself. You felt it before. That electric, intoxicating spiritual high. The synchronicities, the divine downloads, the undeniable sense that the universe was speaking directly to you. For a while, it was everywhere: angel numbers, perfect timing, deep peace, even mystical experiences. It felt like magic, like proof that you were on the right path. And then, just as suddenly as it arrived, it's gone. No more signs, no more downloads, no more euphoric connection, just silence. At first, you think it's a fluke. Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe the universe is testing your patience. But as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, you start to wonder, was it all in my head? Did I lose my connection? Was I ever truly awake? It's not about constantly feeling blissful, seeing signs, or existing in a state of permanent euphoria. That was just the introduction, a glimpse of what's possible. But now, the universe wants to see if you can handle the real thing. Not the highs, not the mystical fireworks, the stillness. This is where most people break. They panic. They assume they've lost something. So they chase. They search for the next hit, the next sign, the next proof that they're still spiritual. But the real ones, they sit in the silence. They accept the absence of magic. And in doing so, they unlock something far more powerful than fleeting spiritual highs. They become the source. They stop looking for signs because they know they're on the right path. They stop needing the universe to speak because they've developed true, unshakable trust. They stop chasing enlightenment because they've realized they already are it. And that is the final initiation. You don't just awaken. You become the embodiment of everything you were seeking. So, where does this leave you? You've seen the hidden tests. The ones no one warns you about. The ones designed to break you, reshape you, and force you to evolve or keep you trapped in cycles of confusion and fear. Some never make it past the dark night of the soul. Some lose themselves in isolation. Some get swallowed by the spiritual ego. Others collapse under disillusionment. And many stay stuck in the belief that spirituality and the material world can't coexist. But the ones who pass, they stop chasing. They stop looking for signs, validation, or mystical highs to prove their growth. Because they finally understand everything was leading to this moment. Not a moment where the universe hands you all the answers on a silver platter. Not a moment where life suddenly becomes easy or free from struggle. But a moment where you stop needing external proof. You pass the tests. You saw through the illusions. Now, it's time to embody what you've always been. This is where the real journey begins. But here's the part no one tells you: awakening never really ends. You don't just arrive and stay there. There's no final level, no moment where the universe says, "Congratulations, you're done." Because the moment you think you've made it, another test appears. Not to punish you, not to drag you down, but because growth never stops. And now, you're not the student anymore. You're the one others will look to. The one people will come to for answers, for guidance, for the same wisdom you had to fight to earn. And that's the final challenge. Will you step into that role? Not as a guru, not as someone who claims to have all the answers, but as someone who has walked through the fire, faced the darkness, and emerged with something real. The challenges don't disappear, but now you know how to navigate them. Not with fear, not with desperation, but with the quiet, unshakable knowing that you were built for this. Because you don't just walk the path anymore. You are the path. And that's the secret they never told you. You were never meant to follow a path. You were meant to become it. Every test, every collapse, every moment you thought you were lost, it was all leading here. Not to some distant enlightenment, not to some external savior, but to you. The version of you that doesn't need permission, that doesn't need validation, that doesn't wait for signs or gurus or mystical experiences to tell them who they are. Because the awakened ones, they don't follow. They don't chase. They don't seek. They create. They don't waste time arguing about truth, they embody it. They don't run from the material world, they master it. They don't fear the next test, they welcome it, because they know every test is just another invitation to rise. And that's the real initiation. The moment you stop asking, "When will I finally awaken?" and realize you already have.